You get out occasionally on the karaoke nights at home? Oh, Lord.
You went hobby before strongman.
Was it? What was your favorite go-to song for karaoke?
I don't know. I usually would turn off like Dixie Chicks, Shania Twain, and then
Wow.
tonight it's like Lizzie Hale.
I would never guess, really. Okay, Dixie Chicks. Makes sense. Grab that mic.
Nah.
See, everybody missed Dixie Chicks. We're just talking about Panda singing Dixie Chicks, Shania Twain. Back Gym Life podcast. A little early morning coffee or tea or
It's
whatever.
coffee,
Is it
just
coffee?
black,
A little
yeah.
okay, a little iced coffee here. We are in South Carolina. It's warm outside. Of course, this lady doesn't need any introduction, but we'll give her one anyhow.
Hey.
It's Panda, everybody.
How's it going? Excuse me. It's been a really fun weekend down here in Hilton Head, so I'm just excited to get to sit down and actually chat with you face to face.
Yeah, I know it, right? We've known each other a while, but it's like when we come to these events and we finally meet people for the very first time.
I know, and then I get to finally get to chill and get to sit with you, and we can have the conversation.
This is like the great for that, though, isn't it? Don't you wish every contest was like this?
Yeah, I know. Like they practically kicked us out last night, but it's like they don't realize it's everybody from across the world that we don't get to see
absolutely.
very often. So we don't want to go to bed if we don't have to. But then they turned the lights out on us last night and said, "Get out."
That's why we hope events like this never go away, and we hope there's more of them in the future too. And everybody stays in one little spot. It's like this ecosystem of strong men and strong women, and of course Cal from Cerberus and all these sponsors hang out with us, and that's a real cool thing.
Just a little bit of group of everybody, and you don't realize, that who's who and what's what, and because when you look around the crowd, we're all just vibing and hanging out.
That's right.
Together,
I know it,
so
right?
It's pretty awesome.
And there's Cal, the CEO of Cerberus, and
just chilling with Roz and Liz
right,
at the breakfast table, and then we can all just hang out and we're surrounded and do our thing.
Right. People just pulling up chairs, like they're all best buddies forever and stuff. And in a way, we kind of are. We all get along like that. It's certainly not hard to put us all together in one room and just have a really good time. And there's really no contention when it's after the event, right?
Right.
During the event, there's this and that. And I think when it all concludes, we can all sit back and put everything aside and just go, okay, who's got the next round?
Especially when you got people getting injured this weekend.
Oh my God, can you believe that? You ever seen anything like that?
So the last time I saw something similar was Arnold 2019, I believe, when they had the Elephant Bar record pull at the beginning of the pro men's show. I believe Pritchett tore his hamstring, a couple other, it was like 3 or 4 men right in a row tore their hamstring or strained their hamstring right off the bat on their first attempt. And I was like, this is why you don't do a record pull first event. These men are not warm.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I guess there's something to be said about that, right?
And then I think Pritchett went and did the Max Husfeld carry 2 events later and still got the record, I think. It was just wild.
Well, then you see those type of finishes. Like O'Connor blowing his bicep out in a second flip, finishing the course yesterday.
Yeah, and then with Clayton, where he tore or strained his lat in the deadlift and then came through and pulled 14 reps on the stones.
Right, and wins the damn show. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. That's just a testament to the grit of of all of us, really. We've all been there in one shape or another, whether that's a ripped callus on a hand and having to work through it. And one of my favorite performers of the week, who didn't make it to the finals that I got a chance to interview, was John Alamo. I would say a future of the sport, wouldn't
sure.
you?
And he was just the fact that he knew he just missed the finals by a half a point.
So humble too.
You could see it in his face, he's disappointed, but he's excited.
Absolutely.
He knows where he's at, he knows what he's capable of, and he's so young. I'm excited to see what he pulls through in the next 12 months.
Oh, and he's such a humble, young, just an awesome freaking guy.
You can see it on his face.
Yeah, he's so happy to be here. He's just so happy to be here. I know it.
I love that energy around the new athletes coming up in this weight class.
And not only in this weight class, but I think everywhere in the sport right now, we're really recognizing this really swell of athletes that. Well, the 82 women today are a perfect example of that. I know we got a Summer, of course, who's been here before, and Jody, of course, who's the perennial, right?
Yeah.
Who we're happy to see back again. But then you've got Katie Gutwald, and you've got Emily Flowers,
and then Carly came up from 64 kilos.
Right. Yeah. And then we've got Sophia, the 17-year-old. I mean, what a mixed
dominated
bag.
over in Jersey,
It's
really
crazy.
showing.
I know it.
It's going to be a good time today. I'm really excited to see
different than last year for sure, right? The who's who, and then all of a sudden we got this really cool sort of what's going to happen in this show.
Yeah, it's like you've got a good blend of athletes, I think, this weekend that are either going to show out and show us that, because a couple of these gals usually compete in 73 or 64, but when the opportunity comes, and Clash is known for that, you take the opportunities when they're presented to you. So these gals, this class will really show that these gals really took that opportunity as soon as it was presented to them.
Yeah, and we find that with the women quite frequently in a lot of different ways, right? Whether it's OSG or anywhere else. And you guys kind of have a little bit more latitude with moving around in weight classes, it seems. Well, you've got that 74 division, 73 thrown right in the middle now. So it really gives you kind of that.
Yeah, no, and everything's like a 20-pound jump. So
which
it's
is
like
pretty
if you
reasonable,
don't
right?
feel like cutting, but you feel like you want to give yourself a challenge, and you can just stay at wherever you're walking around at and jump in and have a good time. And everyone, the camaraderie is always going to be the same, even if you're not like somebody who's usually in that weight class that's been rotating around for years with those gals.
Yeah, it's having a little fun for sure. What about you in the weight class? We taled about that yesterday.
So
you're beefing up on us here.
I am.
Yeah.
After OSG, I got pretty huge. Won't use numbers, but I will just say huge. So I am cutting right now for my clash in Colorado in June.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I will be 64 still there, and I'm still going to be 64 for OSG. After OSG, we'll see. Tennessee, I might end up jumping up to 73 kilo. I'm not like making the official announcement or anything.
Okay, all right. Well, when you do, let me know.
We're gonna see like what's happening, where my body's at. The numbers are still rising, so if my body weight continues to rise with those numbers, I don't see why it's not feasible to.
Yeah, I mean that's really the kind of the tell-all, isn't it? You don't want to spill over. There's that breaking point where the weight doesn't make any more sense. But if it is in the meantime, then just ride with it, have fun with it.
And I'm 5'1". Nobody wants to see like a square 5'1" gal walking in at 200 pounds.
Well, maybe in strong.
I might be strong. I'd be SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh yeah. Well, the nickname will change at that point.
I will no longer be Panda.
Right, yellow hair instead. Right, well, oh my God! So what are you doing out there for Clash? You are the scorekeeper, the official scorekeeper.
Yeah, the official scorekeeper, which has been keeping me on my toes all weekend.
It was a lot of work in this contest.
Yeah. So especially yesterday with the live on ESPN, like I had 2.5 minutes in commercial breaks to make sure the score sheet was ready on the live. So
That's
it was
pushing it.
a lot of numbers, and the way we were communicating with scores this weekend was a lot different than what people are used to. You know, we didn't want to have the clipboards and the paper on the TV and on the live stream. That looks really tacky, we think, and so we were just communicating via walkie-talkie, via text message, any type of way to make it look like we were behind the scenes, making sure the scores were getting done properly, and not a bunch of people running around trying to hand papers back and forth to each other. Yeah,
it was a bit contentious there for a bit. We had some scores generally we don't see. Like a three-way tie, that's very unusual, especially in a 5 or 6 man heat.
I know. How does
that even happen mathematically
with the injuries and
I know
with things like that? Because there's less points to be had. So
and I think there was a replay on a contested rep that kind of changed the standings a bit as well.
Yeah, so that's another thing with the walkies. Like sometimes, like the teens. So a lot of guys had to come up and let me know, like when they got 17 reps, really it was supposed to be 18, or there were some 15 that were meant to be 16. But we did a lot of video analysis yesterday. That's kind of why it took a little bit longer to get the finals guys in order, because we really wanted to make sure that all those scores got accurate.
Listen, and everybody appreciates that, because in contests past, that was never even a consideration. And then, of course, we find out later that week that, oh, boy, they got it all wrong, but too late to correct anything. And
I'd rather sit down and take the extra 10 to 15 minutes at the end of the round, make sure everybody's good. And then we reached out to ESPN when we did have that three-way tie for second, and they allowed all three guys to come in.
Which is great.
Yeah,
well, look at one of them took second place.
I know. It's like you can't deny McKeegan.
Yeah, I know it, right?
Belonged in the finals when he once again shows up on day 2 or the finals and really.
And the King of Stones, Bob Schwantz, for God's sake. Again, this year, 2 years in a row, wows the entire crowd with his ability to load a stone.
Really bumped his points up too to put him back up there in the middle of the pack at the end of the day.
It screwed things up a little bit. Yeah. Listen, Dan Hughes was Dan Hughes and Bob. Then
Dan ended up just bumping out by half a point.
Yeah, they did.
There
Yeah,
at the end, so
for all you out there that don't think that that one guy can make a difference, he surely
that
can.
middle of the pack, those people really convolute everything going in. That's kind of how it was for Johnny. He did really well all day long, and then he lost the finals by half a point because of the other guys and how they performed in
that
the
truck
heat.
pull, 3 guys within a half a second of one another.
Wild.
Wild. I mean, really.
That truck pull was fast. And then, Clayton seeing exactly what he needed to do, and then he gets 1 second faster than the fastest time all day at 15 seconds.
If anybody, right? You knew it would be him. That's what's great about this show, and I've been saying it all weekend. There's history these shows develop, and that history is so much fun because next year, providing everything works out like it should, and we have a clash, right? We never know with these promotions anymore. But we hope, because the history is what we love.
Yeah.
Because we'll all be back talking about this year and talking about the year prior, talking about Camby's big year. I mean, this never goes away as long as these contests stay with us.
Yeah, and I think with Tyler coming in and Ryan coming in, and really they got us more sponsorship on board this year for this year's show, and so it's a little bit more secure. We don't have that unbeknownst sponsor who's going to pull out the big money, because we already know all these sponsors that we do have. We've pulled in people that are already a part of the community. We don't have that Segg TV that they did that whole pull
the one-off kind of stuff.
Really it kind of scared us, where maybe we thought Clash wasn't going to be able to be a thing this year because of how far behind we ended up getting as a Clash, as a team here, with that sponsorship pulling out last second.
Yeah, and the way I understand it, and not getting too much in detail, that some considerations were made to make sure this all happened, and in the end it did, and in a break-even really kind of scenario, and just let's move on from here,
Exactly.
Yeah, so which is good, because a lot of things had to be corrected, I think.
It was kind of like a slingshot moment. Like last year, we pulled back and the rubber band didn't break. So this year, we're just going to keep full steam ahead.
Yeah, that's right.
Just push forward, and I think showing that we're getting a little bit more organization with things moving forward. I know last year we did all the weight classes and we did all that, so I think we were a little bit more organized with the rest of the weight classes this year, because always Clash has been about the 105s, and then we brought in the 82s, and so I think it's progressing forward. I don't think we should be worried this year that we're not going to have a Clash next year. Like
that's right. It's certainly right now. No, that's right. Yeah, this moment we can all say we feel pretty good about something happening.
At the end of last year, it was kind of
and going through a bit of the season was like that as well, and boy, it was
growing
one of those things.
Pains.
That's all it is. Getting the right people in place and doing the right things, and we all have good intention, but sometimes we have to let other people kind of step in to get things done.
And I think that was done. So I'm really excited to see where we go moving forward.
Where are you going from here? Are you going to England, by the way?
The
Luke show out there?
I want to. Finances are now a thing, just because my cat, I woke up a couple weeks ago and he was in heart failure, and we had to take him to the emergency vet. So that vet bill was astronomical, which was mostly my plane ticket and stuff to get over there.
Right.
So I'm
it's not too late though, right?
No.
Okay, good.
I told Ree just to give me another couple weeks and I'll get some things figured out.
Because that's another big show on the list, right? I mean, that's going to be a groundbreaking event out there.
Yeah, and
I can't give enough love to that show, because it's just so awesome. The people involved in it are exactly who we want involved in it.
There with the amateur side, so I'm really excited to finally see them jump into the pro side of things now too. So like they do so much for the teens, so much for the masters over there in the UK, and so much for just growing the sport in general. So for them to finally feel like they have enough oomph in their shows to finally tackle such a big production as the Chaos Classic is going to be super exciting.
Not for lack of support. Right away, all these Americans committed to the show, which is awesome, because generally we're waiting for people to figure out if they can travel.
I know, just to see somebody like John Hack, who was invited to this show, never done strongman.
We haven't talked about that enough,
I'm
right?
going to be there. It's like, and just watch his log progressions the last couple months has been
I can't
really
wait to interview John. I already reached out to him. I just cannot wait to talk to him about what he's anticipating over there.
Yeah, and there's another one right there where we've got so many people jumping weight classes just to take an opportunity. Like Tyler Young is coming back down from 105s to go back into the 90s for the show.
Right, let's not forget, right?
Yeah,
I mean, he was just as good of a 90 as he was a 105er. So.
And you've got U80, Andrew Haynes is going to come. He bumped up at the Arnold, but he was also bumping up for this
Donnan
show.
too, and of course CJ Krause. We know that. And
you got just a bunch of people that are 105s coming down to U90 that think they can make in a couple.
It's
of
like
U80s.
the Kumite or something. It's like blood sport.
It's
like all these different people are coming in from out of the peripheral.
So exciting! Like I just can't wait. I really hope I can be there, because I was really supposed to be on the ADL commentator stream that.
Yeah, I thought you were. That's why I asked that.
I just haven't confirmed now, just because finances. So I'm really hoping I can get over there. Well. It's also on the bucket list to make it over and hang out with Rhea and Luke in their home turf.
That's right.
They come over here enough, so it'd be really nice to be able to go over there and help them out. So.
Well, let me know when you're going over. I think there's a couple rooms in our Airbnb, so we can maybe work that out a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll sponsor Panda. How about that?
Whatever
that's where. Like I make any money doing this, but I spread the love. I spread the love.
Every penny counts.
Every penny. That's right. It all goes back into this fund, and never want to give it up. You're commentating today, though. I understand. Did somebody say you were commentating today?
No, I was asked.
I heard a rumor.
I don't know if I've not, no confirmation, no denial, I guess. I mean, if somebody asked, I'd be more than happy to. But I know Ryan and I were talking about maybe moving forward, having me and Christy possibly do some commentating, because he does want an all-female commentator.
Well, it's not a bad idea. Yeah, Listen, let's face it, and you certainly know how to articulate yourself. That's why I love having you on the Pro Picks. Everybody loves you.
The sport is just... here, so
you're a historian as well, which is nice.
I know, it feels weird. I'm rounding almost to my decade into the sport.
Oh boy, getting long in the tooth. They just keep dyeing that hair. Nobody will ever know.
I know, right?
Exactly.
Just color the
I'll
white
be
into green.
just for men myself starting next week. So. But hey, get back out there, get your coffee down. I know we got a long day today, but a fun night again tonight. Did you hear what I'm doing with the camera tonight?
No.
I'm setting it up right there on that ledge with the microphone in front of it with a sign behind it that says Party Cam.
Oh my!
And you just got to pick up the mic. It's going to be live, and
so
you can go up to it.
it's like at a wedding reception.
Yes,
Instead
exactly.
of saying, "I hope you guys love each other forever,"
Right.
you're gonna be like, "Rock on!"
Exactly. Yeah. You imagine we get some hot takes from that.
Yeah,
I'm sure by the end of the
I'm
night.
sure,
so.
especially since it'll be right by the bar.
Yes,
so you never know what may happen.
Well, we'll hope you'll
We're
get
not
on
going
there.
to be on ESPN, so we can.
That's right.
It's
I have an R rating on my shit anyhow.
So we can say fuck
absolutely
on your show.
anything you want.
Yes.
Exactly. Thanks, Panda.
Awesome.
All right.
Have
we'll see you.
one.
You too.